everyone, it's Sylvia Schaefer from Flying Parrot Quilts, and I just wanted to do a little walkthrough of my new book, The Quilter's Negative Space Handbook, that's just out from C&T and Stash Publishing. Just wanted to do a little flip through so you can kind of see what's inside. So this book is all about designing your own modern quilts. And it takes you through the design process step by step so that you will kind of gain the confidence if you've been a little afraid of trying to design a quilt with negative space. You'll have the confidence to go ahead and dive in and make your own unique quilt designs. So there's the cover. This is not my garden. I wish it were. The cover quilt is called Ring of Fire, and I do have patterns in here as well. So let's take a look at the table of contents. So here's the table of contents. All these pictures here are the patterns that you'll find in the book. Each chapter goes through a specific technique for using negative space in your quilts. And we go through designing a bunch of quilts, but one of the designs in each chapter is included as a project if you just want to sew a pretty quilt. And so these pictures are the projects that there are instructions for. So we have a little bit of an introduction about what negative space is and kind of how to use design tools. And then we go right into the design techniques. So like I said, there's 8 different design techniques. All of them start with either a traditional quilt or a traditional quilt block. So, for example, the first one is all about starting with traditional quilts. And then we go into the more block-based designs. So there's one of the patterns. So for example, one of my very favorite techniques is disintegration, if you know me at all. So it kind of takes you through some quilt designs step by step so you can really break down the process and see how to do it yourself. Takes you through a bunch of different, so again, not all of these designs are included in the book, but there's one design for every chapter that is included as a pattern. So this is one of my favorites from the book. It's called Jewel Drop, kind of inspired by iPhone games where you have to clear jewels and make them all go away. I misspent my youth playing Tetris, so this quilt particularly was fun to make. And so we go making shapes. It's another chapter. There's the cover quilt, River of Fire. And then after we go through all the design techniques, I've got a section on realizing your design, because once you have designed your quilt, of course you need to figure out what fabrics to choose, how to actually put your quilt together. You know, negative space can be a bit challenging because you're dealing with really large pieces of fabric. So I've got some tips for you on choosing fabric and making the quilt, dealing with those large pieces of fabric. And then, of course, in the end, you'll either have to quilt the quilt yourself or tell your long armer what you want. So I do have a chapter as well on quilting choices and all the different quilting choices you can make, you know, from easy to more complex. And then the very last section of the book is just an appendix of piecing techniques, so basic information on paper piecing and some of the other techniques that you will need to make the projects in this book. So that's it. I had so much fun writing this book, and I really hope that you'll find these techniques as useful as I do for designing my own quilts. Thanks for watching.